Hey, hello guys, this is Mr. Popcorn. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Sleep Tight, a 2011 Spanish psychological thriller film. This movie revolves around Cesar, a concierge of an apartment building, who is unable to reach happiness, no matter how hard he looks for it. And things turn to a worse, when he starts to hide under Clara's bed, and do unspeakable acts after using chloroform on her. In the end, what really happened to Clara? Does she come to know that she's been taken advantage? Watch till the end to see the mind-blowing twist. There will be spoilers ahead, keep an eye out and be cautious. At the beginning, we see a concierge named Cesar, sits on the side of an apartment building in Barcelona, pondering how he can't seem to find any source of happiness. He then wakes up beside Clara, a building tenant, at 5 a.m. and goes about his daily routine of working at the building. Cesar covertly offers money to Ursula, a tenant's daughter in the lobby, which appears to be a regular occurrence between the two at the entrance. Veronica, another tenant who loves her pets, is also discovered by Clara and Cesar. After meeting the old lady, Clara reminds Cesar that her sink is clogged and needs quick repair, to which he responds that he will drop over to fix it throughout the day. Cesar continues to work, before paying a visit to his mother in the hospital. She is unable to speak and is entirely immobilized due to her illness, but she listens to him talk about Clara whenever he makes a visit. Back at the office, Cesar is scolded by his boss for being late for 2 days in a row. He tries to defend himself, but the boss becomes increasingly agitated. Their debate is cut short when Veronica approaches asking for a favor. She needs someone to care after her dogs while she goes to a birthday party, and she's given specific instructions on how to feed them. After entrusting the office keys to the cleaning lady and her son, Cesar agrees and travels to Veronica's residence. He feeds the dogs their meal, but he adds a slice of pie to the one named Rocio in defiance of the old lady's directions. Meanwhile, Clara arrives at her residence, opens numerous letters and then discards them. She then continues the night by dancing, while Cesar remains hidden beneath her bed. He patiently waits for her to fall asleep, checking with a mirror to ensure she is completely unconscious. He then administers chloroform to Clara, ensuring she falls asleep quickly. Before going to the bathroom to mess with her toiletries, he lifts her sheets to inspect her underwear. He uses a syringe to administer an unknown ingredient to her care items, before resting with Clara in bed. Cesar then gets up at 5 a.m. and goes about his business, even using Clara's personal items. When he leaves, Ursula stands outside, promising that if he gives her an explicit adult movie, she will not tell anyone about Cesar's deeds. With no other option, he makes a deal with the little girl to keep his dirty deeds hidden. Later that day, when Veronica enters the lobby with only one dog, Cesar inquires as to what happened to Rocio, to which she responds that the dog is currently suffering from diarrhea. He then inserts mail into the tenants' mailboxes as part of his job, and even adds numerous letters to Clara's box, showing that he was the one who sent the strange letters. Meanwhile, Clara continues to utilize the care products in her room, oblivious to the fact that Cesar has gone through them. When she enters in the lobby, she asks Cesar if he has seen a watch that appears to be gone from her apartment. He denies it, but assures her that if he does, she will be notified. Later on, Ursula sneaks out of school to beg for the adult movie, which he provides to her. She also informs him that in the last few days, she has gotten closer to Clara, and that the price for her silence will now be 100 euros. Cesar is amused, but irritated by the kid's extortion skills, and he bites her up. The supervisor scolds him again in the lobby, for failing to care for the plants, which caused them to perish. Because of this, he succeeds in enraging another tenant. Cesar tells his mother about it when he visits her later that day, and he also adds that he is almost successful in wiping Clara's smile off her face, because he wants to frustrate his tenants, a goal he has been working on for a long time. Later that day, he goes to Clara's apartment to solve the sink clog he caused, and destroys her watch before hiding it under her bed once more. While she talks on the phone with her partner, he patiently waits for her to fall asleep. He then uses chloroform to keep her in a deep sleep, while he continues to ruin more of her belongings in an attempt to agitate her. Disturbedly, he plants bug eggs in various locations throughout her residence. Days pass and Clara develops a rash, which has a detrimental impact on her, and causes her mood and behavior to shift considerably. Every night, she receives letters addressed to her as if she has a stalker, but she has no idea it is from the man she entrusts her flat to. Clara's rashes had reduced the following week, bringing her relief. However, when she opened her medication cabinet, she discovered bugs all over it. She dashes to the lobby to seek assistance from Cesar. Clara decides to stay at her mother's house, until Cesar fumigates her apartment due to the infestation. When Clara and Cesar enter the elevator together, Cesar inquires about the man who has been pestering her. Clara is perplexed because she hasn't told anyone about it, but Cesar insists that she may have shared it with Veronica, who informed him. She also says that the authorities have tracked down her harasser's signal, and that the perpetrator lives in the same building as her. Later that day, Cesar expresses his concerns to his mother, who has no choice but to listen to her son. He also assures his mother that he will go to any length to make Clara's life as difficult as possible. He even begins to devise schemes to destroy her. Following day, the supervisor interrupts him as he cleans the apartment, claiming that Cesar is a piece of waste because he hasn't lasted long in his previous positions. He informs Caesar that he needs to start looking for a new job, because he is about to lose his job for the second time. Next day at morning, 3 police officers enter the building, and ask Caesar if they might speak with him. Clara's complaints of harassment are investigated by the officers, who gather the staff in a room. When the police officers inquire about his access to the office, he directs them to the cleaner's son's locker, where they discover yellow envelopes similar to those used by the harasser. Caesar has succeeded in framing the poor youngster, resulting in the boy's arrest. Caesar contacts Clara from a payphone booth to advise her, the apartment has been fumigated and is in excellent condition. Clara joyfully expresses her eagerness to return home. To prepare for her arrival, Caesar returns to his lodgings and gathers the things he'll need to further ruin Clara's plans. He stands alongside her vacant bed, holding a knife, as if practicing how to stab someone. After seeing that Clara had asked her lover, Marcos, over to spend the night with them, he crawls beneath the bed for a short time. Caesar accidentally puts some chloroform on his face, and while the two are making love, he makes his way out of the room furiously combating the effects of the chemical. He finds he has the wrong set of keys as he tries to exit the flat, trapping him inside. He wakes up in Clara's bathroom the next day, while Clara is getting ready for her bath. Caesar tries to keep a low profile. While the couple enjoys themselves in the living room, Caesar waits for the perfect moment to pass unobserved to the bedroom and get the keys to get out. He successfully enters the bedroom and locks the key in his diary, but Marcos spots him on his way out and follows him to the door. When Caesar finds Marcos, he questions him who is generating the disturbance in the flat. Clara arrives and calms the two guys down. When asked why he's at the apartment, Caesar explains that he left his fumigation equipment inside, along with Veronica's keys. He also mentions that Veronica is in need of her keys. The couple, believing that nothing is unusual, lets Caesar go, and Caesar successfully deceives the pair. When Caesar learns that the couple is going on a trip out of town, he becomes extremely depressed. After a few weeks, he returns to the rooftop, and ponders his inability to find happiness anywhere in the world. He is on the verge of killing himself since he feels hopeless, but he notices Clara and Marcos returning to the building. Marcos thinks it's unusual that she's pregnant, because they both use protection anytime they get close. Clara justifies herself by claiming that the doctor says it is possible, but Marcos remains skeptical, presenting a stumbling block in the relationship. Caesar has absorbed all of the information while hiding under the bed, completely unaware to them. When a couple falls asleep, he puts them out with chloroform. After that, he takes off his shirt and climbs into bed between the two, to have an intimate moment with Clara. The next day, Marcos arrives to Caesar's quarters and requests that he inspect Clara's unit for a bug problem. However, while inside, Marcos discovers that Caesar has been using chloroform to sedate Clara. Marcos goes on to attack Caesar, and attempts to get additional information, but Caesar keeps his calm. When Marcos tackles him to the bed, Caesar stabs him in the neck with a shard of broken glass and drags him around the flat. He then allows him bleed to death in the bathtub, making it appear as if Marcos committed suicide. After that, he fixes the flat while entirely ignoring the overflowing tub and Marcos. Ultimately, the authorities are notified, and everyone in the building gathers around. The officers summon Caesar, and on his way there, he notices Ursula smirking. A disastrous scene greets him inside Clara's apartment, as she sobs uncontrollably while an officer consoles her. One of them asks Caesar a question about Marcos, but he is quickly dismissed. He then gets a letter reading, "I saw you," on his way back to his quarters. Knowing that Ursula knows he was involved in Marcos' killing, he soon captures Ursula, and threatens her to kill her entire family if she tells on. Clara's moving day arrives, and as she walks down to the lobby, she is unable to say anything to Caesar, because she is still in shock over Marcos' death. After months of waiting, Clara has given birth to a healthy baby boy. She then finds a familiar envelope and discovers that it contains a letter from Caesar, who discloses that he is the father of her child. He also says that he hopes she will think of him every time she looks at their baby, and thanks her for assisting him in finding happiness. The movie ends with Clara cries as she cuddles her baby, and Caesar is proud of what he has accomplished. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Bye.